Dope Boys in the Cadillac.
Yes,
it's your
sir.
boy B.O.B. I'm with my man J Money.
J Money, how y'all doing out there?
Happy Sunday, people. Happy Sunday. It's sunny in California today.
Feeling good, feeling great.
Alright, man. So how was your weekend, bro?
It was pretty busy. You know, I typically work on the weekends, so taking this opportunity to kind of talk my shit here on this Sunday. Excuse my French on this Sabbath day, but yeah, it's been cool. So this is actually technically my first day off of the weekend, and I'm off tomorrow. So
that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. You know, I spent like 6 months unemployed, bro. 6 months unemployed. So every day was my motherfucking off day.
How you make that happen? Pass on that knowledge, please. How you can survive being 6 months unemployed?
Well, everything can't be discussed on Two Dope Boys in Cadillac.
There you go. There you go.
You know
All right, we ain't trying to
man.
incriminate nobody, so I understand that. So.
Yeah, man. But what's been going on with all this beef, man?
I know it's you mean beef in the world period, or you talking about beef in like it's a lot of beef going on in hip hop, the world.
I'm not talking about Panda Express beef.
Okay.
I'm talking about this entertainment beef.
Well, let's talk about it. I know. I mean, of course, we have like the Nicki Minaj, the ongoing Nicki Minaj kind of like Cardi B beef. Like, my thing is though, like,
it's crazy.
Two women kind of in the hip hop industry can share that space. Like, so I don't really understand. There has to be some things going on behind the scenes that we as the consumers don't know about, but it's something deeply personal in there for them to kind of continue this going on. What you feel?
I think Nicki Minaj has had problems in the last 7 years, and I think that her career has lasted for about 7 years.
Nicki's been around. I guess she's been around for about
what, like 10?
I guess it's about, as far as like being the top spot. Yeah, you're right. Probably about 7 years.
And the thing is that she's had this level of comfortability with no competition. Remy was in prison. Cardi B wasn't discovered. You know, now you have Rap City. You have Nicki Minaj. You have Cash Doll. You have all these female artists now. And now you're Cardi B. Can't leave Cardi B out, right?
Yeah.
And now we live in such an instantaneous era where people can really truly appreciate you and make you a superstar overnight. So Nicki Minaj, I kind of have a little bit of empathy for her because she grew up in the era, as we grew up in the era, being 87 babies, where you had to earn your stripes. You got an artist in Cardi B that just come into the game and just fucking take over like that. You like, bitch, move.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think there's kind of two things at that. Like, I kind of agree with that as far as you having to earn your stripes, but who's to say that Cardi B ain't earned her stripes? Just because we recently just kind of know about her as far as on the music, I guess there's something to say about that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she came kind of from nothing. She built her fan base organically from IG. You know, she was a stripper. You know, so I think that Nicki Minaj needs to understand Cardi B's position in that there's room for each one. Because I don't necessarily feel that the Nicki Minaj fan is going to be the casual Cardi B fan and vice versa. You know, there's different things from different music.
That's true.
Nicki is a real rapper, a lyricist, right? Yeah. Nobody is questioning that. Well, they try to say that she's not a or she has someone writing her rhymes, which I don't believe. I think she really has the pen, and I feel like she could really rap. She's from that era where she will battle you. Cardi B is more of like club. You know, she has a Spanish influence. You know, it's a lot of different things going on. So there's
alluding to Offset writing for Cardi B?
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
I thought you were alluding to that for a second.
I wouldn't say that Offset is necessarily writing for her, but I feel that they put her in some good positions.
Quality control, right?
Some of the cadences that she raps in sound very Migos-esque, you know? But that's a part of being on the team. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You always are going to collaborate as an artist. But at the same time, though, it's that there's a lane for everybody. So I don't feel that Nicki Minaj should just be as threatened of Cardi B because she's winning now. Because a lot of the older rappers, they could have felt the same way about Nicki when she initially came on. Yeah, she came on, she kind of put in the work as far as on the rap scene a little bit more, but she had to get put on by like Gucci Mane. She's put on by Waka Flocka at first. Then she got up with Cash Money, and then they really helped her go to the next level.
I don't like how you making Nicki sound like she's been passed around a little bit.
No, I'm not saying that she slept with these guys. I'm just saying as far as her superstar.
I'm just being dirty.
Yeah. No, I ain't saying that, Nicki. I'm not saying that, by the way. But as far as her superstardom, she had to kind of take those necessary steps.
Of course.
And I mean, Missy Elliott didn't say anything. Not that I know that was detrimental to Nicki Minaj being where she is today.
Right.
I don't think Eve said anything. I don't think MC Lyte said anything about her.
Right.
But I feel like Nicki Minaj always takes things really personal. And she feels like she has to be the end all be all of kind of all conversations.
Yeah,
and,
I could definitely see that. And let's be honest, we live in a likability era. You know what I mean? Cardi has the bit of a modern era Cinderella story. The young lady who was stripping in the strip club, you know what I'm saying? Doing the viral videos, and boom, came with a hit, right? So
Love and Hip Hop was in between there too.
And Love and Hip Hop was in the
Love and
midst of
Hip Hop, and then it was that. So actually, she really had her work cut out for her, because we know usually after you hit that Love and Hip Hop type circuit, with the exception of a certain few, it's more like, hey, I'm just trying to get a check, and then it's like, okay, I go off into obscurity. So
for sure,
she had that working against her.
So you think that this problem is much more bigger than just two female artists? You think that it's an issue with older artists and young rappers that feel entitled? Because just to expand on that, like right now you have the Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly issue that's going on, right?
Sure.
And you have Machine Gun Kelly feeling like, hey, old dude, cut your fucking beard off. You look weird and scary, which he do. I ain't gonna lie to you. First time I seen him,
let's not disrespect M. M is a legend. Okay?
Yeah, but
legends can get away with having weird beards. Okay, they can do that.
We can't be PC though. Yeah. Let's not be PC. The real shit is that I want to see Slim Shady slim. Shady looks real motherfucking Fitzpatrick from the New York Jets with the beard on. I can't really, I can't get with that, man. Honestly,
not that bad.
And the flow pattern. Let's be honest. Killshot wasn't that, man. I mean, I feel like Rap Devil. I feel like he had that energy. Even though Killshot did crazy numbers on YouTube, broke all types of records, I still feel like Killshot.
But let's keep it completely
overrated.
honest. Let's keep it completely honest. The only reason that we like that most people like and I'm only say most because I know the M fans out there, they're gonna say otherwise. But a lot of people like the Machine Gun Kelly diss on Eminem because of the beat. It's more modernized, right? It's more like he's not really saying anything that we don't know.
It got that Tekashi 6ix9ine energy.
Yeah, but he's not saying anything. He's like, oh yeah, you're weird. Your beard is weird, or you're old and you're yelling at the mic. I mean, okay, cool. Like, but you can't really insult the person that ultimately insults himself all the time. So I think that what he said in that song was kind of catchy and cool. But as far as like lyrical content, Eminem ate his ass up. And I'm sorry. As much as the song might have rang better with the Kelly diss on him.
Now, one thing I noticed from the Breakfast Club interview, bro, right?
Yeah.
Is that he stated something that kind of threw me off a little bit. He said that both of us are with Interscope. I had no fucking idea that Machine Gun Kelly was with Interscope. I thought he was with Bad Boy. How many labels are these fucking artists signed to? And
I think Bad Boy is his management. Oh, that's what I feel like. I think Bad Boy is his management, and he's actually signed with Interscope. But we can actually cross-reference that if we like, but it's I think that's another thing is that Eminem said that in his diss on Kelly is that he's like, hey, you've been out for a while now and still haven't really popped, you know? And Eminem at that same age, at that same point of their career, Eminem had already had the Shady EP, you know? So that's what I think that he was alluding to is like my 80-year-old self would never want to be the 20-year-old you. And I think that he has some good points in there. And of course he's going to do it the Eminem way because that's how Eminem raps. It's like, why would we expect Eminem to kind of switch it up? And if you listen to the Eminem verse, he had a lot of different styles in there. And he could easily put him like, he can take everybody's cadence if he wanted to.
I mean, let's be honest, but fucking Eminem, no one's going to actually just walk into that dungeon. I mean, he scared me from fucking freestyling against him, and I feel like I'm the best freestyler out. Did you get an opportunity to watch the Kamikaze interview with Sway, with Eminem?
I watched the excerpts from it.
Okay.
I didn't see the whole thing.
Okay.
But
I watched a little bit of it,
yeah.
Right? I couldn't stand to watch the whole thing because he brought it out in 12 fucking different parts.
Yeah, that's why I kind of just...
A drip campaign.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you produced a response. Mm-hmm. You know, go up to a platform that you don't have control of and have that vulnerability. And that's where I did agree with Machine Gun Kelly because his response, you prepare a proper response to this kid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're the seniority. I don't want to hear you fucking prepare a response. I want to hear the Eminem that's been in the game for 25 fucking plus years. Mm-hmm. I want to hear you come back and spank that ass. I want you to actually have that fucking mentality like, nah, motherfucker, you 27 years old. I'm fucking 45. I've been in the game for 25 plus years. You talked about my fucking daughter. No, you cannot get pussy from Haley.
And that's the thing too. Wait. We can't just gloss over that because the realness of it is that M was hot about that. I guess that was back in like 2012, 13 or something like that. At the time, Haley was 15.
That's crazy.
And that Machine Gun Kelly made those, whatever comments that was suggestive or whatever. So, if I was a father, I would be hot about that.
Fuck yeah.
But what I will challenge you as far as like M, Shady, he did it, he has a relationship with Sway and that's on Shady Shade 4-5, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has more of a controlled environment, but M is a boss. M could do what he wants to do. He doesn't do interviews.
Yeah. Jay-Z
don't do interviews. Everything they do is calculated and of course, it should be. They're commodities. They are the business.
But I do have to ask you, okay? Because now when we get into that Jay-Z Eminem comparison, right?
I'm not comparing, by the way. But as far as like
artists
that are being up at that level, we have to talk about it. And Machine Gun Kelly is not in nobody's top 20. He's not. Maybe if you're from Cleveland.
Maybe about top 2.
Maybe not even Cleveland, maybe folks. That's what M said. It's like, hey, you're not even the, I got more fans in your own city, To be honest
with you, I can't name one Machine Gun Kelly song besides Wild Boy.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Wild Boy. That's the one he had with Flocka, right?
That was the Wild Boy.
That was the one that went hard. But again, he is, he's always been an Eminem shadow. He will always be an Eminem shadow. And I think that that's what he has a problem with. And quite frankly, he dropped an album Friday. So we're talking about clout chasing. I think that's what Machine Gun Kelly was doing. Now, he was baiting Eminem, and Eminem said that if I respond, it's a lose-lose for me. He has nothing but to win from this because he knows that he's baiting a legend. So if I respond to him, I'll have to come down to his level and break it down like that. And I think that Machine Gun Kelly has been very crafty as far as like saying like how he's the one that's like how he's been the stand-up one and he's ready to address this and go here. But yeah, you have an album coming out. You know, so you already had shot a video for a diss track. Who does that? You shot a video for a diss track, so that means that it was very much planned.
Who in the past has shot a video for a diss track?
Not nobody.
I can't think of anybody who's done that, Jeremy.
That's how you know it's some bull.
That's crazy.
That's how you know that he's trying to poke the bear, and trying to get some buzz out of it.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
It's worked to a certain extent.
Now I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think that Eminem has vested interest in Machine Gun Kelly's career with Interscope, and I think that Eminem
that they made this beef up.
I think it's a plant.
Okay.
That's what I think.
So it's a conspiracy between the white boy rappers.
Who loses? You got MGK. You got MGK, who no one was fucking talking about. And you have Eminem, who came out with an album about 3 weeks ago, and that shit was like trashed everywhere. Okay.
A lot of people liked it too, though.
It was 50-50, right?
It's not the stuff that, and I think that that's where we are in music right now. Is that when we have our vets from the past come back and try to put out projects, they might not necessarily live up to the hype, or we are expecting a Migos album, but from Eminem or from Jay-Z, as far as like production wise and all that. And I feel like that's really where we are, because I hate to say it, but now music is kind of controlled by younger folks, as far as, because now they can put out any type of music they want to.
It's the game now.
Spotify just released that they're going to let independent artists release directly on their platform, which means that they're going to be cutting out a lot of folks.
Old artists out there, go get young blood.
Yeah.
The reason why Jay-Z is still making it after so many years, bro, is that he goes and get young blood. You can hear Quavo on Ape Shit. You know what I'm saying? You can hear Migos on Ape Shit. You need that young energy so you can know, because a lot of these old cats, they got so much money and wealth, they don't go outside. So they need to actually be around that energy that's in the nightclubs and hear what's going on as far as the frequency. You think Jay-Z's
really kicking it with like some of these young cats? I don't think so.
Of course not, but that's why he has to bring the Futures and the Migos and stuff.
I don't think so. I think that's what Kanye needs. Not to go on Kanye, but that's kind of what Kanye does. Kanye is a person that kind of changes, depends on who's around him. He needs others around him to be his creative self. When Jay-Z has always kind of just set his tone. No one told Jay-Z at this point in your career to make the 444 album. He hasn't made an album like 444 before.
Now I can't go back. I can't go back to where Sean Carter was very, very influenced by Snoop Dogg. I can go back to 2001, 2002.
He wrote for Snoop Dogg.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that I can remember that flow pattern, Blueprint 3. You know what I'm saying? I can hear a little bit of that West Coast influence. You know what I mean? So and that's when the Chronic 2001, that's when West Coast was kind of coming back a little bit, and Pharrell was borrowing a lot of that sound. So I think Jay-Z has been able to transition in different eras and through the climate change within the music industry due to his ability to put his ego to the side and absorb other people's frequencies and other geographical sound bits, like that Atlanta sound. Like Jay-Z, for him to be a New York artist and be able to tour all over North America and sell out. Now, of course, granted, he has Beyonce with him.
That's a big
granted, like
that's a big plus one. Okay, you got Beyonce on the squad, and what he has, and a lot of people hate to say it, Jay-Z has done a lot for her career as well. After Matthew Knowles, as far as like management, things that she does, whatever it is, Jay-Z is such a business-minded individual that he understands the importance of equity, understands the importance of owning your own, having your own. As much as a failure as Tidal is, that's his thing.
Yeah,
and that they are controlling that.
But it's Tidal a failure too, because I pay for it.
Well, it's as far as like the numbers wise, as far as in the numbers game, it's not doing well. But Jay-Z definitely has, and it's not hurting him to have title. Right. So he has these artists, including himself, him and Beyonce being the two probably biggest R&B hip hop artists there are, on that platform and having their full catalogs. I mean, that's and saying basically screw the rest of the platforms. Screw Spotify. He still has a thing against Spotify. So,
and speaking of Beyonce and Jay-Z, I noticed that Beyonce had on the Kanye Yeezy heels.
Did they mend the did they mend the fences? Huh?
Well, let's be quite honest. They weren't Yeezy heels, but he claimed them to be Yeezy heels.
Oh, they weren't. I saw the picture.
They were not.
They were not Yeezy season.
The caption said "family." So this is the question that I have, right? Now, Kanye, he's going through this, and you spoke on something as far as him taking a lot of energy from a lot of the young artists. We've seen him with Travis Scott when Travis Scott is signed clearly to Epic and Grand Hustle.
He did it to Cudi back in the day.
I'm
from Chicago, by the way, so, and I was always been a Kanye supporter.
So this is a non-biased perspective that
non-biased where I'm coming from.
Okay, but Kanye West, to me, I'm gonna be honest with you, he's in my top 5. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's in my top 5 as far as what got me through college. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you graduated high school in 05, 06, 07 era,
you got to have
that Kanye. You know what I mean?
College dropout,
of course.
Graduation,
of course.
All the
You know what I'm saying? So what I think has happened is I think that most people that we are fans of. Mm-hmm. And I'm speaking generally as far as the audience, we're so accustomed to our artists and the people that we admire not being human and being dehumanized as far as everything is filtered through their publicists. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to know who's Kanye's publicist, because this man comes out and he says whatever the fuck is on his mind, and we shame him for it a little bit. Now, of course, ignorance is bliss. So he says a lot of shit based on trolling methods, right? Because that's like how the metric system work or some shit.
I don't even think that's necessarily the case for Kanye, because I don't think he necessarily does stuff for to troll. I mean, he does stuff for attention. He wants you to talk about him, for sure. I think we have a president like that a little bit. Yeah. But I think with Kanye is that he has kind of lost himself in the sauce. He's lost in the sauce, basically.
Yeah.
To the point to where he might have, and this is from the outside looking in, but I think that he's isolated himself when he came, being in L.A., the Calabasas lifestyle. Now you're a part of that Kardashian machine.
His fucking house looked like a museum.
Yeah, it looks, but it looks kind of weird.
Wait, like it had mannequins and shit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
with
weird.
one arms and shit. It looked like it had that Edward Scissorhands shit going on.
Right, but I think too is that Kanye has, I guess, alienated himself and then put a lot of yes men around him, or handlers, whatever they are. So the people that were around him, the Don C's from Chicago, who would tell him like it is. Don C has gone off and done other things. Virgil, who is now, president of Louis Vuitton. So he's gone off and done, and Off-White. Yeah. He's done other things. So people that he had around him,
congratulate to these people as well, too.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah, brothers doing big things, but it's that now he's like really like he feels by himself. So now he has these people that don't really know him around him, or what he is perceived to be, and those are a lot of times are yes men. So then of course he's gonna be kind of go off the handle. He obviously he said that he's battling depression, and we talked about that before, in our own time, is that's real, especially amongst black men, when we're not kind of taught to how to deal with it,
right? Where
to go and get the proper help and all that good stuff. So he's definitely dealing with a lot of that. But you have to be able to kind of center yourself at some point.
Yeah.
It should come from your significant other, I'm not saying that that's not what she's providing for him.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do have to be checked. And I think that now he apparently is back in Chicago trying to find himself, trying to get him around his same kind of, how he got his start. It's interesting. I don't know if it's just like a ploy for, just for like, hey, I'm just in Chicago now. What am I going to do? Or is it like, if it's really genuine?
I think he moves. I truly, in my heart to hearts, feel like Kanye moves genuinely, and the problem with moving genuinely is that it's so easy to be misunderstood by that, rather than moving with like particular hidden agendas. It's easy for somebody that's moving with a set agenda to be like received well, because their perception is oh, okay, you're doing this. I think that he's just like, fuck it, I am who I am. This is the same guy who came out and said George Bush doesn't like black people. So how can we expect that same person to not to express himself if he agrees with certain things? Like, I just think that when a person loses his soul, that's what you see in a lot of these artists that are going towards drug abuse, because
that's when
they're scared to reveal them true selves.
That's when you need people to say like, hey, maybe I don't need to be in front of a microphone. Maybe I don't need to be in front of a camera at this time until I get proper help. Because what we have seen is that we go from a Kanye who was so knowledgeable on like social issues and things like that in the beginning, to where he actually stood for something. His music was about something, and that to where now instead of a progression, he's definitely fallen off the cliff as far as like social commentary.
Yeah.
As we can see with he's wearing the MAGA hat.
Yeah.
Wearing the some of these other doing some of these other ploys. It's definitely you could tell that he's disconnected from really his true fan base, the people that put him on and that were there for him, his friends from back in the day, the Dave Chappelle's, the Talib Kweli's, the Mos Defs, the Commons. These people, they're not really around him publicly like that anymore. And there might be some stuff to say about that, because they know that he's a little different. But
they still are in his corner. These people
you support, because like just as my brother, I would support you, but also I don't necessarily have to be next to you if I feel like you're not seeking the help and you're a grown man. So you can do what you want to do. It's not my position to control your life. I'm gonna let you know where I stand, but I can love you from afar. I feel like that's what a lot of those individuals are doing. Yeah. So what I feel that he has kind of created for himself is that it's about the clothes. It's about attaining all of these materialistic things that he wants as an individual. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But he's kind of lost as far as like what he represents, what his mom was kind of, what she was about.
Well, if you think back to that Kanye West Breakfast Club interview with Charlemagne attacking him that time, he was speaking about how he felt that the game was marginalizing him. And, honestly, I just watched an interview not too long ago with Tracy Mills discussing him. And I didn't know that Tracy was such good friends with Kanye West.
Who's Tracy Mills?
He was the previous black designer, the head designer, Von Dutch.
Oh, Von Dutch, the guy that at the Drew League.
At the Drew League game, right?
That's right.
So he was on Old Man Ebro radio show, right?
I saw that.
And I'm glad that he was coming to the defense publicly for Kanye West, that he calls his friend. And because a lot of us spectators, we spectate on things, but we really truly don't know the makings of. If my mom died, I'd probably be fucked up. If my wife fucked a lot of people that I have to rub shoulders with, I would probably be fucked up. Okay? If I had every fucking thing watched and spoke of that I choose to do, where I go, everything that affects me, like literally in the public's eye, for them to fucking give me backlash, I would probably be fucked up.
So two of those three things that you just named, he could control. Obviously, he couldn't control the losing of his mother. That obviously would send us off the deep end. You know, course. Then that's when if you are sensitive and that is a trouble for you, then you have to go and seek help. Because now we're at the point to where, and you're never gonna get over your mother passing. But are we talking like how many years now? Like. Yeah, roughly, it's been over 5 years for sure.
I think it's been about 7, Jay.
Okay, so then in that case, then let's talk about those other two things. If you're concerned about how many people your wife slept with, and you know this prior to being married, then you might not have, probably shouldn't have got married if that was going to be a problem for you.
Now, speaking of that, how do you feel, Jay, about a man
talking about
in every interview, and we're talking about Nick Cannon, Mr. Wild 'N Out. All right. Now, of course, Nick is a low key gangster because I liked his response. But in every interview, you keep alluding to the fact that you used to fuck Kim Kardashian. Now she's a mother of 3 and a wife. So where they do that at?
I think in that particular, you talking about the clip from Everyday Struggle, right? Well, he was originally talking about this.
I mean,
are you talking about like other instances?
We can go Vlad TV. We can go Everyday Struggle. I mean, he's doing it on multiple different platforms and keeps.
I think he's always asked that question. In fairness to him, now should he elaborate as much as he does sometimes? Probably not, especially now that she's married. That's just a respect thing. Right. But that's a conversation I think that him and Kanye need to have face to face, man to man.
That's gonna be a fight, Jay. That's a Triple G and Canelo.
Set it up.
Black Virgin.
Set it up. Put the gloves on. Do whatever you want to do.
Nick gonna whoop his ass, man. He listen. He hasn't been back home. He just got back home in Chicago. You want this man? He been in Calabasas golfing and shit and walking through mountains with all white on.
Yeah, I mean, he might not want those problems. I do agree is that you need to have some respect for people that are married.
Of course.
You have to have some boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So I understood how Kanye could be mad about that situation.
Right.
But let's not forget, though, Kanye has said things about individuals once he's moved on that were not, and these individuals were not married per se, but still things that he probably shouldn't have said. Amber Rose, the things that he said about Amber Rose were very kind of, saying like how he had to take 1,000 showers or whatever he said. I'm paraphrasing before he got with Kim Kardashian.
I remember that.
But knowing her,
I remember
track
that.
record too, so you can't really like kind of
judge. Wiz and Amber were actually married.
Oh, were they?
They were.
They were actually married.
They were actually married.
But I think that when he said those comments, I don't think that they were married anymore or whatever it is.
You might be right.
Regardless, she was out of the picture, and you're speaking on her name like that or whatever it is. So, she was good enough for you to be with her for an extended amount of time. So
that's
now don't talk stuff because you're on whatever bigger and better things,
That's very true.
So I think that Kanye just needs to kind of take advice out of his own book.
Yeah.
Understand that, because I feel like he looks up to a lot of, if you ever hear him talk about the people that he aspires to be, it's always a rich old white man. It's never like somebody, a staple, like a black leader or whatever it is. It's always wanting to be like, Ralph or Lagerfeld or whatever his name is, So he always wants to be like these old, rich, European white designers.
Yeah.
I think Joe Budden actually said something about that in the past. It's like, it's kind of weird though. It's kind of weird. I understand what he's saying as far as branding. Yeah. Yeezy's done amazing. Adidas has given him a crazy opportunity. But it's like, okay, like you can do your own thing and still be Kanye West. You don't have to go and try to be somebody else. So
yeah, I think I'm very, very excited about hearing new Kanye West music because what he recently came out with was trash.
It wasn't good.
The whole little rollout between
the whole roster was not. The Pusha T was good.
I feel like they robbed Tiana Taylor of a great introduction to her career. You know, as far as musically, not taking anything away from you, baby girl. I love her as far as her energy, as far as her craft.
Teyana Taylor's been out for a while too.
She's been out for a while. But
a
you
while.
know, right now she's hit that second stride, right? Where she can actually have the capability of bringing on new fans and new audience and stuff like that. And I think that this album was so pivotal for her. Versus like Kid Cudi, I mean, these motherfuckers already have their fans. Some people arguably consider Kid Cudi one of the best artists out, and he's only came out with really what?
Yeah, like a trendsetter or whatever. But I mean,
Right.
they give him the real kind of you know, as far as like putting on like Travis Scott, because Travis Scott was heavily influenced by Kid Cudi. So, and Travis will tell you that that's like the most influential artist to him.
Oh shit! So does Soulja Boy.
Yeah. So I mean,
They consider fucking Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy just came out and said, "I'm influenced. I'm tired of these niggas stealing my swag." He's still using the word swag. I like that.
Yeah, but he really was kind of like there's some truth to that.
Didn't he introduce the word swag, pretty boy swag?
I
Like
think
that.
so.
He was the.
I think so.
He's the fucking creator of swag.
As much as
Shout out Soulja Boy.
Soulja Boy, you were an innovator. Cause definitely as far as like, you know, views and YouTube, I mean that's how Soulja Boy got his claim to fame. But that's how just our little thing for Big Boy Soulja right there. But yeah, I just think that now these artists too, they just need to kind of just allow their own lane. You know, they can build their own lane, but understand the content that you are putting out for consumption.
I think that if Kanye is really going through this process of rebranding, you know, I think that's what we're seeing right now with him coming and walking down the train station
A reset button.
under the L, talking about how he basically is tired of Tyson Beckford coming for his girl, tired of Drake hit with the hidden messages with the Kiki
He's feeling
shit.
himself back at home, huh? He got some Chicago goons around him now, so he feel a little.
I mean,
feel a little empowered a little bit.
Ron Fest look like he about 6'3", 240. He look like he can throw a couple blows. So I'm thinking that he needs a new rebrand, but who he needs to go to for rebranding is fucking Kevin Hart. You know why I say this? Because
Kevin Hart?
Yes. Because that nigga worked so much, he made us forget that he cheated on his wife while his wife was pregnant. Like this nigga, when I tell you this nigga floods us with so much content, with so much work. I love Kevin Hart.
He controlled it, but that's when you do, and I think that Kanye has the resources to control kind of the narrative. But he just continuously like steps on his own feet. Like you'll go 2 steps forward and then like 5 steps back.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why did you just work against yourself when really you could have just done this? And I don't think that anyone is trying to marginalize Kanye at this point.
Yeah.
I think that they know who Kanye is.
Yeah.
Kanye has the flexibility to do those things. What I feel like is going to take Kanye to the next level as far as legacy, because now we're talking about legacy, is that he has to build up individuals, bring individuals and let people know, like, okay, I'm a human going through real experiences, but it's going to show in my music. And I feel like he's gotten lazy musically. Yeah. He's gotten real lazy. And that was never Kanye's thing. Kanye was making 5 beats a day for 3 summers. You know, he said it in one of his original songs. So does he still have that work ethic?
I think,
or is he just trying to steal flows from Drake?
I think he
from
signed.
Travis?
I think he signed some monstrous people in the past with good music. I mean, you know, with the signing of Big Sean, you know, Common. I think that where he needs to go to right now, he needs to get back in his bag, appreciate this time back in Chicago, go and see. I see him with G Herbo. You know what I'm saying? He in the hood with G Herbo and shit. I see him trying to get that energy. Yeah. Kanye might be about to come with some shit. I think he's finna put out another Graduation album, man. And right now, I feel like he's rallying up. He's speaking about a lot of shit publicly through Instagram. And one thing I did like, he tweeted out and he said that there needs to be basically a fucking world conference meeting with all of the creators of these social media platforms, including Mark Zuckerberg.
Not showing the number of likes that, not publicly showing the number of views or likes that an individual has.
Even though I believe that's for his own bias. Because Kanye has, about 2.4 million followers right now. Something in that range, right? And me just being a huge Kanye fan, I know that fuck with him right now. Because Fatboy SSE has more followers than him. And that's probably...
He's not as active on there, and he hasn't been...
But Kanye doesn't look at it the fact of activity. He looks at it the fact that I'm Kanye.
But it's always about him, and that's
correct.
That's the problem that I have with Kanye. It becomes always about him. When like people shouldn't put celebrities, kind of to tie in what you said, they shouldn't put them on a pedestal to where
correct.
They're not human or whatever it is. Like
right.
We do that way too much, whether it's celebrity, Hollywood, whatever it is. But Kanye needs to also understand is that I need to be able to kind of watch the energy and the stuff that I'm, kind of putting out. And not just being about myself, but empowering other people. Because that's what made Kanye who he is. He was about the people. He was about the other individuals, speaking for, his niche group back in the day was the backpackers.
Right.
He started that. The backpacks and the polos with the flipped up,
the
collars.
collar.
That was his swag.
That was like 3-4 polos.
It's
on
a
at
lot
once.
I knew a lot of people in Chicago that were that followed that.
Of course.
But that's not the whole experience, Right. But he was able to relate all of the, whether it's the thugs, the gangsters, the the preppy boys, whatever it is, he was able to make music for everybody. So I think that's what he needs to go back to.
I agree.
Being at home, maybe that will do that. I've seen it before to where he kind of capitalizes on music like that Don't Like with Chief Keef.
Yeah.
He came in and remixed that, but the Don't Like had already been out for like a minute.
It had been out damn near a year, but he came
and
back
then he came in and touched it, and then so I don't know if that's what he's on right now. So
yeah.
I think G Herbo and them need to kind of understand it's Kanye. It's a big look.
We finna hear a Kanye and Lil Reese.
Hey, he got some stuff. Kanye and Chance. Chance just announced that he has some stuff coming out with Kanye. So
hey, when I tell you that shit gonna sound like Yolanda Adams produced it, I'm sure. Now, speaking of public persona and all this kind of stuff, did you watch that Kevin Hart Breakfast Club interview with Tiffany Haddish?
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, man. I personally feel like Kevin Hart, he's trolling a bit, man. Like, that interview was a lot of energy.
I think he
exuded.
He had some stuff he wanted to say.
That was a lot of energy. I didn't expect that.
I don't think that it was. And for the listeners, this is in regards to the Breakfast Club interview in which Kevin Hart was basically defending Tiffany Haddish, given their I guess given the circumstances that what's his name, Katt Williams said something negative about Tiffany Haddish, basically saying that she hadn't earned her spot. She doesn't have any notable jokes, whatever it is.
He said that the movie that they actually did together, it was a lot of false proclaims in that interview too. He said that he actually sold 2.4 million tickets during his tour.
He might have got tongue tied. Yeah, but
he also said that his trailer, the trailer that he did a movie with Tiffany, actually generated more views than the actual movie itself. And he also said that Tiffany doesn't deserve the shit that she's being granted as far as access to true Hollywood. Like, let's be honest, the fucking battery has been put in Tiffany Haddish back. But let's really be real. The game in Hollywood television is based on who is backing you. It's based on who's backing you. Like, I've seen the comedians come behind certain comedians and really truly they barely fucking with the comedian that you're behind. So how the fuck do you expect for you to have all these opportunities with movie roles when you're underneath your star comedian of your team is barely getting into the doors of Hollywood? Well, so that's really truly what it's faced with. I mean, let's be honest. When the last time you seen Katt Williams in a mainstream sitcom or film?
That's it's been a while.
It's been a while.
But Katt Williams also just won an Emmy. So we can't forget about that. And people don't talk about that, but he won an Emmy for his guest spot on Atlanta. So
That's
as much as we say stuff about Katt, I think it's universally known that he's a genius. Are some geniuses a little kind of off? Yeah, but he's good at what he does. Now, should he have kind of spoken about Tiffany in the way that he did on that particular platform? I believe they were on like a V103 interview. Probably not. No. Just because she is a young black woman coming up, like it's two different lanes.
And you don't have to shit on somebody to uplift someone else.
She's not taking anything away from you. What she's doing is not detrimental to what you're doing.
And she handled it with class. She basically just said,
Sure.
Did I fuck one of his boyfriends or some shit?
That was kind of shade. That was shade because apparently they had a conversation prior to that, squashing that. Katt, I guess, was able to talk to her and let him know his understanding.
Yeah.
And then they were able to squash it. So then this is after the Breakfast Club interview was after they had initially talked. So then she was saying this stuff, and then that gave. Talk about battery in the back. They gave Kevin Hart the okay, well, I'm just gonna lay it all out because he has been feeling some type of way by being judged by Mike Epps and with Katt Williams. So I think that Kevin Hart, it just kind of doused kind of the fire for him, and he does have a personal connection with Tiffany because he did help put her on as far as. She was homeless. He gave her some money to, when he was just starting out. Now they're in this movie Night School together. So he has seen her progress and go from really nothing to something. So I think that's probably where he felt like her being a little sister to him. He felt some type of way.
He felt like he had to go out and fight.
You don't have to fight her battles for her. I think that she's.
I'd say kill him with success.
Yeah, there was nothing that he needs to say, and he doesn't need to always go to the point of like, I sought out these shows. I'm at the top. We know about Heartbeat Productions. We know that you're killing the game right now. Yeah. There's nothing that you were saying that we didn't know. What I didn't like is that he's necessarily feeling like he has to defend constantly like this person or this person. Just defend yourself. Yeah. Let's go out there, hey, if you got problems with these individuals, then you go and you talk to these individuals about your issues. Whatever. It should not be a comedian beef. I mean, it's funny, I guess, because it's comedians beefing. Yeah. But it's like,
honestly, only thing that's happening is the relationships with comedians in the nightclubs are now going viral. Because let's be honest, comedians have been beefing. The motherfuckers have been having issues. That shit is like a fraternity. You got certain groups and shit that fuck with certain people. So comedians been beefing. That ain't gonna ever end. Because most of them niggas think they rappers anyway. Right? They just telling jokes. So that's no surprise. The only thing that would surprise me the most is that Kevin Hart went so into it. Like Mike Epps wasn't even the topic of conversation. So you just included him in it. You know what I mean?
It struck a chord. He was like, hey, I'm going to let it out to everyone that has opposed me or everyone that's talked stuff about me. I'm going to put it out there right now,
And I get that. I'm a sole believer in being honest and being very, very transparent and saying how you really feel. But at the same time, how many times do you have to revisit a topic? We know, I agree with you. Your same sentiment. We know how successful you are, brother. Like, we know that you're playing the game properly, right? Even when you fuck up, we understand that you got some people in your corner that can clean that shit up. I mean, when that lady said anything about extorting him out of money, the FBI got involved, the Alphabet Boys immediately. That shit was like attacking the president. Yeah, so we know, Kevin Hart, you are not to be fucked with. You don't have to continuously remind us. And I feel like that's the quickest way to get yourself out of the game. Because now, if you have a fucking Eddie Murphy pick up a transvestite on fucking Sunset Boulevard moment, you might end up being on a movie called Metro. Yeah. Your likability might end up lessening because you continue to throw your accolades in our face. The Rock has been so successful. You know why? Because he gets the bag, he goes the fuck home, and he doesn't brag and boast. And this guy,
have to.
He's a $25-30 million
he don't
guy
have to.
moving.
And that's the thing, though, is that when you're at a certain level, you don't kind of have to toot your own horn
Correct.
anymore. Like, save that for the ones that are kind of coming up. They have to do it as a way of confidence, just like a boxer would. You
Right.
hype yourself up because you need that confidence to keep going. We know who you are. We know what you have done.
Mm-hmm.
You post about it all the time. So there's no need to constantly like remind people like, hey, I've sold X number of millions or whatever it is. And that goes for Katt Williams too. That's not just for, you know, as far as just accolades, period. We
Yeah.
know who these individuals are. And they have cemented themselves pretty much in the, you know, in history.
We buy your fucking tickets.
Yeah.
Of course we know. I mean,
Yeah, so it's not about
we know. We order your shit on Netflix. We're supporting you.
Yeah.
We know how much you're generating, okay? So stop telling us information we don't give a fuck about.
but people hate to bring it up, and maybe it's just one of those things that where it's just kind of people don't know how to express it, but it has to go back to slave mentality, to where it's only room for me to be good
That's
and
true.
successful.
You don't want
Right?
to share that light, do you?
It's only
That's
me. It's only
crazy.
enough for me, and we don't hear about this as far as like in the public from white comedians, white artists. We don't hear about beefing country artists. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a hip hop thing. I guess we talked about beefs with Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly, which is a unique kind of thing, and we even said that might be a publicity stunt. So we're talking about the real thing is that why are we constantly beefing? Whether it's rap, R&B, comedy.
That's crazy.
What is there? What's there to come from that?
We feel like there's not enough room for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. It's a crab in a bucket mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, what I would like to do one day is bring a comedian up here who's literally on the cusp of success but haven't quite converted over. And I want to get that person's opinion. That's one thing we're going to have to do one day. I'm going to have to look into my bag of comedians locally, because us being in LA, this shit needs to be touched on, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure. It's just
Bigger
about-
than just Kevin Hart fucking voice, right?
it's a form of togetherness. And
Right.
kind of speaking on that, what do you feel about the whole Nike Kaepernick campaign? What's your perspective on how that's kind of played out?
I think that people are so fucking skeptical of how genuine Nike has been over decades, and the consistency in their energy. They've kept the same energy for decades. I mean, going back to fucking Michael Jordan with wearing, you know,
Man, yeah.
shoes outside of NBA's rim. Like, let's be honest, these endorsement companies have forced these organizations to bend to the point where they had to break. You know what I'm saying? Through collective bargaining agreements. So I think Nike stand for something. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, I was finna put a pair of fucking Adidas on today, but I changed my
I see
mind.
you rocking your Nike. I got the ones on.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Hey, that's how we feeling.
Nike, you
You
know.
know what I'm saying? Two dope boys in a Cadillac. What the fuck you mean? Nike, what's up?
What's up with that endorsement, Nike? But it's one of those things too, is that I feel like you said Nike has always been the brand that has drawn people, you know, and they are the kind of like the cultural kind of trends.
And let's
Nike,
be honest, black people, we love that shit. We not out here buying Nike Monarchs.
Yeah,
we go and buy that,
Well, I
that
think
shit
that's
shit.
why Nike was okay with making that statement. Is
Yeah.
that they know who their consumers are as far as like
That's true.
spending big money.
That's
They
true.
know that black people are gonna spend big money with Nike.
Oh, we gonna spend it till we ain't got
They're
it
gonna
in our
spend it.
pocket.
So whether it's a sweatsuit, whether it's some Jordans, whether it's some ones, whatever it is, they know that you're gonna spend that money.
Of course.
And that's why it wasn't hard for them to kind of really make that. And they know that their top athletes
Yeah.
are black.
Yeah.
You know, so why would you alienate that and be afraid to take a chance? Because some of these other companies are gonna be on the wrong side of history. Right?
Oh, that's a fact. You remember that Adidas commercial that they came out with all the fucking athletes and entertainers at the panel and shit? Like they were actually finna start a rally and campaign and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, the only thing they did was like fucking raise their prices on their shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't see where Adidas is really truly like leveraging the playing field as far as the Black and African American community. And then the people that they have the face of it, like Kanye, they're not coming out with the most politically correct perspective as well to draw it. Like, put it like this. 2 pair of Yeezys came out last week, Jay. I wanted to get both of them bitches. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I stayed up the first time for the Wave Runners. And I waited. I waited for 3 hours. I was up at 5 a.m. and I kept hitting the reload. Still didn't get them motherfuckers. So you saying all this stuff about black this, black that, you want black dollars, you want our support. You don't even produce enough shoes to actually have somebody like myself fucking buy them.
Well, I think that's true too. Is that I think Adidas is kind of priding themselves on being like for the creatives, you know, being you know, looking out for those who are kind of creating their own lane. Like they gave Kanye the keys to the Bentley, you know, like hey, here, come in, and then he was able to take them to a whole nother level as far as like with the Yeezy brand and all of that. Because now it's $1 billion brand. So there's something to say for that, and I won't fault Adidas for that. But as far as like Nike, I feel like they know exactly kind of the pulse of the culture, where the culture is coming from, where the popular, you know, whether it's the athletes, what they have to say is important because they do have a platform.
And they're saying that Kaepernick is going to be signed within the next couple of weeks too.
Yeah, so it becomes a snowball effect then, right? Because now that Nike's taking that chance or whatever, now it's like, oh, well, maybe it's not that bad. Oh, maybe he was just really protesting something that was real, you know?
Right.
And the fact that they're talking about a kneel, which was a compromise that he actually came up with a veteran to kneel versus just sitting down, it's about that and how it's unpatriotic. So again, it's about changing. They want to change the narrative, make it about something that is not. It's very patriotic what he's doing.
Yeah,
because that's what this country is about. It's about standing up for your beliefs and for what's right. And that was their origin of it all.
And Kaepernick, to be honest with you, I don't even want him to play football.
He don't need to play football to me anymore.
I honestly, I think just fucking your legacy is planted, my friend. It's cemented.
Yeah, I mean, but the athlete in him, he feels like he has some unfinished business. But to be honest, I'm like you. I would be done with football. I can go and I can be of help outside of football. And now I'm signed with Nike, so I have I'm sure that he's not missing out on no checks necessarily, and he doesn't have to get hit in the head constantly. So
that's true.
I think that there is, I think that at this point, like, hey, I'll sit out. But I think that it was a huge thing for Nike to do that, and of course, it's good to see.
And what's the name of his campaign again? It's a slogan. What's the Kaepernicks?
I forget the exact what the kind of slogan was behind it.
But
in the commercial though, it does show like other people that have had odds against him. So it's not just not just him, but it's like other individuals, whether it's women, whether it's people of a Muslim religion. There is the what was it? The football player with the missing the hand. So it's one of those. It's about the whole thing is empowering. It's with Serena in there as well. Mm-hmm. It's about Nike is a brand that will stand behind you, and that will be there, and that won't, based on your beliefs or if it's a good positive message, then they'll stand behind you 100%.
Absolutely.
And there's no way Colin Kaepernick's message bad. So if you think that Colin Kaepernick's message is bad, you're probably just racist.
Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. When I tell you, this guy is going to be considered the fucking Muhammad Ali for our children. Like we didn't get an opportunity to kind of enjoy and appreciate that Muhammad Ali.
He made a sacrifice.
But the fact that he made that sacrifice for his career, he's gonna be considered the Muhammad Ali of the next generation. That's why I say, don't fucking pull a Muhammad Ali. Don't keep fighting. Bow out.
Oh, you saying don't stay in the ring?
Don't stay in the ring.
Well, you got to think too. Muhammad Ali lost some key years, a couple of years, because he was dealing with
making income.
Yeah, not making an income. So he felt compelled to come back. So
of course,
I don't think that Kaepernick has to come back to make his impact. I think that he's done a lot, and he's put his money where his mouth is. So a lot of people they'll say a lot of stuff, and they're going to be about this, but he's been consistent and still speaking about it, and still hasn't changed up, to try to get back in the NFL, to change who he is. So
he stood firm.
Yeah,
he stood firm.
Yeah, that's so that was key. So
so what do you think about Maroon 5 headlining the fucking Super Bowl
in Atlanta?
In Atlanta,
it's a shame.
That's disrespectful.
It's a shame, and I like Maroon 5. Okay, but it's being the black cultural backbone, heartbeat, whatever it is.
21 Savage, no Migos, no
a medley or something.
No Gunna.
That's
no Lil Baby.
That's beyond me. Shout out to my boy Ha Davis. I don't get where they were coming from with that. But again, it's the NFL. And as much as I like football and the NFL, let's not kid ourselves who they're really trying to cater towards. It's not you and me necessarily.
They trying to cater to people who drink Budweiser and not Bud Light.
Yeah. And right now, it rings well because everyone is still supportive of the NFL as being the most popular sport in American culture right now. Okay. But that's because they have limited games. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's a spectacle. Every Sunday, every Thursday, we know it's going to be one game on that we're going to tune into, and then that it's going to be, that they're going to be able to drive those ratings.
Of course.
Unlike the NBA, where you have so many ball games with so many different teams, it's like you want to follow all of that, but you can't watch every single game.
Right.
So I think that that's where, kind of the NFL gets its juice, is that, hey, they are primetime TV on Thursday nights. Sundays they have all the various games, so you can catch your individual team, but then they got the Sunday night game, which is the premier game. So it's all been a build up to sell whatever it is.
But my question is, who do you think that's watching the Super Bowl wants to watch fucking Maroon 5? Now,
Maroon 5 is a different kind of genre of. It's not like you would think like, hey, well, my tough NFL guys want to watch Maroon 5.
My team's losing right now in the Super Bowl, and you're gonna actually bring Adam Levine on fucking stage.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
So that's where I have to ask people, who the fuck is making the marketing decisions in NFL? Now, I know that they're located right in Culver City. Mm-hmm. So I would say there's probably some bitch named Stacy from Minnesota that has no fucking idea. She selfishly chose Maroon 5 to spend their dollars on. Because I feel like she chose who the fuck she wants to see.
What makes the halftime show so good, I wouldn't have a problem if it was like Maroon 5, I guess they have a good show, I guess. Have they done a Super Bowl before? I'm sure they have, in some capacity. No?
You know what? I think they did the fucking Super Bowl like 4 years ago or some shit.
Whatever. It just seems like that's the safe.
Or Black Eyed Peas. It's one of those groups.
But they go for these safe choices.
Right.
But for me, the Super Bowl should be about who's going to put on a dope show. Right?
Right.
The classic Super Bowl performances we've seen are the Beyoncés, the Michael Jacksons, the Princes,
the Janet Jackson,
the infamous Janet Jackson nipple slip, right? And
I want another nip slip.
I want another nip slip too. Like just.
I say bring Nicki Minaj on there and get her to nip slip again, because I think she do it like willingly.
Yeah.
I think she'll just do it just for the fuck of it.
Just out there, just like
hell yeah. Like I ain't gonna lie, I love Nicki. Man. Like if you happen to watch this show, Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac, just know I will absolutely love to lick your nipple.
Oh my god.
Was that too much? All right. Edit that out.
That's harassment.
Well, but you know what? To be honest with you, I feel like Nikki's the woman that you can actually tell that, and she can receive it and be like, "No, boy, stop."
Yeah.
And I'll just be like,
depending
okay.
on,
I didn't read it.
Depending on how, because I've seen her flip the script really quick too. So depending on how she's feeling for that.
Depending
day.
on what drug she's on.
Damn.
All right, so like Kanye is back in Chicago, so we closed that out. But is it safe to say that we're going to hear another Jay-Z and Kanye collaboration before we go into the sports column? Because I want to end the whole trend with the music. Maroon 5 just fucked everything up. Fuck you, Adam Levine, for performing at Super Bowl, even though I love your music.
Shout out to Adam Levine. Nothing against him.
I love Maroon 5, but
I don't want to see
I don't want to watch
anymore.
Maroon 5 if my team's losing.
I don't want to see him at halftime.
And more than likely, the Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl because they just got Josh Gordon. So let's be honest. So we're going to see Patriots again come out of the AFC, and we're going to have to deal with the Patriots whooping somebody's ass out of the NFC, and probably, hopefully, it's Green Bay.
Right. So what we're going back to what you were saying as far as like, is Kanye and Jay-Z gonna make another on the
Throne 2?
Throne 2.
Because he said that they are working on Throne 2.
Time will tell. Time will tell. When Jay-Z is allowed, or when he actually agrees to do Super Bowl, then maybe that'll spark some things. Because remember that was thrown out last year. Jay-Z was going, but he turned it down.
Jay-Z ain't getting no money with the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not at this time.
He's not getting no money with the NFL until they change their policies, man. And one thing I can say with the NFL, they need to actually like ramp up, man, because they need to offer health insurance for these retired vets. You know?
Yeah, they need to have. First of all, the guaranteed money needs to be better. It needs to be more. These NBA cats are making way more money, and it's guaranteed more so than, football players going out and literally risking their lives.
Dude, I was doing like some research, fucking pointless homework for the podcast, and I looked up Dak Prescott's salary. He's making $675,000.
Yeah, it's like crazy. I mean, he's still on a rookie kind of deal, I'm sure, but it's like. That's
fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. And to think too that like a lot of the cats from like back in the day where they would actually have to work in the off season, and they were consistently putting their bodies and lives on the line, like going out there and just getting hit over and over again. It just does not make sense. And the NFL makes so much money, they can afford to do that if they wanted to. But what we're going to see, and it's going to be really interesting the next maybe like 10 to 15 years, is that we've already seen the Pop Warner numbers decreasing.
Right.
Due to
our elite
CTE scares and like parents being more informed about the detriments of football to their kids' health. I think that's going to be really important to see how football fares in the next 10 to 15 years.
I agree totally, man, because you have elite players that are retired.
Yeah,
Vontae Davis fucking retired at halftime.
Just leaving out, just like why?
They said they caught him across the street from the stadium at Hooters after the fucking game, fully clothed. He was just watching the game, the rest of the game, eating some buffalo wings and some chicken dip.
Wow, yeah. And obviously he felt something enough to remove himself from that at that time. Maybe he felt like, hey, I missed a step, or I can really hurt myself out here.
Right.
Because I don't have it like I used to.
Yeah.
So, I can't get mad at, and I'm sure that the team probably felt like he quit on him, but it might have been something psychologically that he just knew, or physically that he couldn't do, that he felt like he was at risk. So.
And that's why I feel like going back to Dak, I think now that Jerry Jones and the fucking coach got him running all over the place and doing all these option runs, right? Mm-hmm. I would tell the fucking coach, I'm not doing any fucking option runs at the end of my rookie contract.
Yeah.
You're not finna Willis McGahee me and take my fucking knee out to where I can't even get a suitable contract after the season's over. And that's the whole point of Le'Veon Bell sitting out.
Yeah.
Because he's like, look, You're not finna fucking get me injured during a contract year.
Yeah,
because that's gameplay.
Well, yeah, and that's where the NBA, like, the players really do have the power. Really, the players have more power to be like, hey, you know what? This situation is not ideal. Like, hey, I'm under contract, but guess what? Let's work this out. So I can get up out of here. You all will be happy with me out of here because I won't be a cancer or detriment to your locker room, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because we know that they'll deal them in a minute.
Oh, of course.
So it's good for as much as the power that the players can have, the better.
Yeah.
NFL, they don't have any type of saying power. So the fact that Le'Veon Bell is like, hey, I need to be earning the money that I deserve because it could end like that. And then you all won't care to just move on. And then my career is done, and then you just go on to the next. So I think that there is something to say about these NFL contracts that will continuously kind of come up, and they need to figure it out. The Players Association needs to work with the the former, because apparently there's some former Eric Dickerson former players are threatening to kind of protest whatever because they're not getting what they feel like. Because now they see everyone is making all this crazy money comparatively to
and
what
they
were making.
They literally sacrificed their bodies, man.
Yeah, or they're still some of those guys still can't hold a spoon.
Absolutely, you know? and shout out to my former client Cornell Webster. Played cornerback at USC, played cornerback at Seattle Seahawks for 9 years. And he actually was he was suing the NFL for his CTE case. You know, and he was a former client of mine in Oklahoma. And talking to these players that's in their 50s and 60s and how their bodies is torn down, they can barely walk to the door to open the door, the front door to their house.
50s and 60s is... You know, that's
average lifespan now is 87, Jay.
Yeah. So
these folks breaking down 30 years older and they still in shape. So that just shows that these players in the NFL pay them properly, get them the proper health insurance so that they actually can go and seek health coverage and seek counsel for their health issues later in their years so that they don't end up like Junior Seau.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. Or Durson, I forgot his first name, but basically, you know, killed himself, whatever, because, you know, they over time, you know, and you've seen the movie Concussion. Like, correct. That's very real. So there is something to say for that. But also, talking a lot about the NFL.
Yeah.
They talk about my favorite league, the NBA. You know, a lot of crazy things going on here this off season. You see who I rep. You know, I know who you rep as well.
Since '96.
Since '96. So even though I am a Chicago boy, so I do like the Bulls. You know,
I'm from Mississippi, so I'm loyal to nobody. We don't even have a fucking team.
You don't have a team.
I don't have a team.
I like the Bulls. I'm a hometown guy.
Yeah.
But always been a Lakers fan, especially being a Kobe fan. So
for sure. It's
interesting though to see LeBron James in an LA uniform. It's surreal.
It looked proper.
It's I don't know. I've always kind of been like, you know me in our personal conversations, how, you know, I've always been critical of LeBron and, you know, kind of like he a crybaby, whatever it is. But I mean, he's a great player. There's no denying that.
The best.
Everyone will want him on their roster.
Absolutely.
I don't care what they say.
Absolutely.
Everyone will want him on their roster. So my question to you, and this is, I'm a Kobe fan, and I know that some of these Kobe fans have taken it to the extreme out here.
Right.
Defacing the man's murals and all that stuff. I'm not for that, because I think there could be some low-key like racism in there somewhere.
No, LA just disrespectful.
Well, then that means LA don't have any type of...
LA just disrespectful.
But then they're not riding for the team. Because if you ride for the team, yeah, you don't necessarily have to like... I'm not going to get a LeBron jersey. Never. But I would say
never say never, Jay.
I'm not getting a LeBron jersey.
If LeBron gave you a free signed jersey...
So now he has to buy me? Now he has to buy me?
If he gave you a free signed jersey, Jay gonna come here with a signed jersey. You know what?
Let me get that Space Jam. That too. Space Jam 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, listen. Now, I'm a conspiracy theorist.
I know what you're gonna say. You know why he came out here.
Okay, so
You know exactly why LeBron came out here.
Let's talk about it.
It wasn't to win championships. It was to be closer to the movies. He has a production. He wants to be a production guru. He wants to have his production. Spring Hill Entertainment, which controlled by Mav Carter, they are doing some crazy things, and they have a lot of shows already in production.
Now, the only thing that makes me agree with you is that we're talking about a guy who's adamant about not signing long-term contracts, but signed one with the Lakers.
Yeah, because what's not to like? Why wouldn't you want to end your
Why
career
not buy? But why not buy in? Right?
Why not? And you're making max money, and you're gonna have potential to be even higher earnings because of where you are, and you're gonna be closer to those meetings. I see that he's out and about more now. He's in LA. He's in the mix. He's having fun. He's not in Cleveland where there is probably shit to do besides being in your big ass mansion.
A lot of oil mills, a lot of bullshit manufacturing.
And I'm sure Cleveland, I'm from the Midwest, so I'm sure Cleveland has a lot of things that they offer. It ain't Chicago, but they have a lot of things that they offer, but it's not LA as well. And I feel like he made that as a move, not only a business move, but he knew that the quality of life for his kids, as far as like his sons are in basketball,
right?
You know, some of the leagues that they could be a part of, some of the teams, some of the coaching year round that they can experience out here. So it was definitely a calculated move, but I don't think that it was for championships. And I think that a championship would be gravy for him. I don't think he came out here and say, "Hey, in LA, we're going to win a championship." I think that they're going to be competitive because obviously they go from being a non-playoff team to being a definitely
7th, 6th seed.
Yeah, let's see, like the middle of the road to the end of the Western Conference because it's nasty out there.
It's tight.
But I think that that's really what he came out here for. And I respect LeBron for always speaking on the real issues. You know, he's always been outspoken, whether it's for 40 against 45 or to speak up for, you know, equality or women's rights, whatever it is. So I do admire him for that because he doesn't have to do that.
Right.
He doesn't have to do that. As much as I love Kobe, he didn't really do that. Jordan didn't do that necessarily. So and let's quiet this rumor that Michael Jordan was he giving money to prisons or whatever it is that's been around.
You know, that
is a rumor, and it's not even the Michael Jordan that
they confused that with another Michael Jordan.
Let's take that out of here.
But you know what I do like about LeBron coming here to the Lakers? Now, taking all of that into perspective, right? That he's coming out for business ventures and all that kind of stuff as far as the movies and all that good stuff. But I love the fact that he brought a family man persona into a LA market that does not promote that, right? And he's now the new face of LA. Like, now every time you see LeBron, you see him with his kids. You see him with his wife. He's doing red carpet events at movie premieres with his wife and his kids. So my question to you is, has he dethroned Steph Curry as far as the first family of the NBA? Because last year, I don't know if you recall, but LeBron had a question about, okay, why is it that when Steph Curry posted a photo with his baby girls and his wife, he was basically alluding to complexity. He was alluding to the issue about complexion as to why people gravitated to Steph Curry's persona versus his. So, not to just bounce around subjects, but I just think that I like the fact that LeBron is coming out. His marketability has enhanced even bigger because he was well renowned in Cleveland's tight small market.
Right.
So now LA has just made him just magnified, and he deserves it because he's such a pivotal voice for our culture as far as black people, because going even back to the Trayvon Martin issue with the hoodies, how he got the whole entire Miami Heat to wear the hoodies when that happened.
Yeah.
I just
when
think
he didn't have to, and he definitely didn't have to take that, where no one was expecting him to take that position.
Right.
So, and then we talk about the, how, they were saying on Fox News, shut up and dribble, whatever it is.
Yeah. He got Jamel on there. He got Jamel narrating. documentary.
The documentary. So he was able to flip that narrative. And then
Shout out Jamel Hill.
Yeah. Good for her to have an opportunity. I know that the things with ESPN went sour. You know, ESPN is a Disney company, so you know, they had to kind of cater to the corporate. You know, but LeBron has his own thing. He has a machine. Yeah. And that he doesn't have to answer to a lot of these other individuals, and he can create his own, and people are going to want to be involved in that. So that was a loss for them, and good for him to put on Jamel Hill to where they would have a platform to really discuss some real issues. But I think that LeBron is necessary. We've always had an athlete speak up, you know, in various sports, whether it's the Jim Browns in the 60s, whether it was the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, whether it was some of these other athletes that didn't have to speak on social issues that have. So he's definitely took that reign. And being a top athlete, unlike Colin Kaepernick he was a good football player, but he wasn't like the best. And LeBron is the best.
And let's be honest, Lakers have not had a vocal person to actually speak up for the culture, like a vocalized individual, since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, that was the last person that we've had to be a frontier who was fearless to actually put his entire career, his entire brand, his endorsement contracts on the line to fight our causes. So Magic didn't do it, Kobe didn't do it, Shaq didn't do it. I can't think of anyone since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Think about the amount of courage too, like at that time. And I'm not saying that LeBron doesn't have extreme courage, because he does, but I think that LeBron knows that he's secure as far as like what he's able to kind of do, and if he gets like some negative feedback, it's not going to kill him, because he has all these followers, he has people that are going to rock with him, right? He's a good guy. But think about back then when Kareem and the Jim Browns were speaking out. That was when it wasn't popular.
Oh yeah,
to have those positions, and they already weren't making a lot of money. So let alone you speaking out on something, and then it's like, wow, now I really am not going to be making the type of money that I probably should be making.
Of course, they're going to snatch some endorsements back.
It took an extreme amount of courage that wasn't necessarily a popular opinion. So I think that's always, and I think that's what LeBron has done too, is that he always acknowledges those individuals that did come out and speak out. Yeah. And be able to, you know, for him to be afforded his kind of luxury of doing the things that he's doing now, you know, I think that's what he's kind of fallen in line with.
So Jay Money, we both Lakers fans. What is their season record at the end of 2018-2019
Their season record, I believe that they will win, and this is just strictly, I believe they will win 50 to 55 games.
Okay, 50 to 55. So you're projecting about 30 to 35 losses, possibly 30 to 32.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that will put them, I think, maybe in the 7th spot.
Do they trade Lonzo Ball?
I think that they keep Lonzo. And I like Lonzo. I think that his upside is really big.
Okay.
If you compare the numbers, Jason Kidd's first year's numbers with Lonzo, I'm not saying Lonzo and Jason Kidd are the same player, but they're very comparable. Jason Kidd ended up being one of the best point guards of all time. So I think that Lonzo has that type of court vision, and given the fact that he's going to have a LeBron James, to where on those fast breaks he's going to have some options.
Right.
And Lonzo can also finish. So LeBron will feel comfortable about throwing anybody a lob, or, you know, whatever it is he needs to do. What Lonzo needs to desperately improve is his shooting, because he will have a lot of open shots.
Well, Magic just said that he came out with a new form. His form is beautiful now.
I believe when I see it. I want to see it in NBA action, and not in a gym with nobody guarding you or some bums, you know, that's my height, you know, trying to guard you. I want to see
he hooping in Chino Hills with his AAU squad.
Yeah. I want to see some real
big baller brand team.
See how he's able to apply that to his game and be able to just knock down an open shot.
Right.
You don't have to be like a sharpshooter, but just be able to knock down an open shot, because I can see it. Fast break, LeBron on fast break, he kicking it out, they're both running, and then Lonzo's there with a wide open tray ball.
Now, look, he's going to get open. He got two of the best playmakers in the NBA
Oh yeah,
on his
Rondo.
team.
With
Rondo
too.
and LeBron.
Yeah.
He's gonna be open. It's just a matter of can you knock down those open shots. That's really what it comes down to. Now
That's going to determine too if he gets more playing time than Rondo.
oh, of course. That's the
Rondo.
end all
They know
be
what
all.
they're going to get. You know that he can't shoot, but you know that he's going to
That's the
lock
pedigree.
down D. He's going to be smart as far as IQ. He's going to get people the ball.
Yeah.
So I think that that's going to be the deal breaker. Is like, can Lonzo knock down those open shots when it comes down to it, and
And speaking of knocking down open shots, though, Karl Anthony-Towns, he must have been knocking down quite a bit of open shots because he just received a super max deal.
Crazy.
Breaking news in the last 24 hours. $190 million. He receives 30% of the Timberwolves salary cap for the 2018-2019 year.
That's a lot of money.
If he actually gets one of the 3 All-NBA teams.
Which he will. He'll get one.
Yes, he's going to get one. Or he has to get like fucking defense player of the year or something like that. He gets 30% of the entire salary cap.
Well, they needed to do something, the Timberwolves, because obviously with them losing Jimmy Butler this week as well, is that I think that they needed to attach themselves to something.
Yeah.
And Karl Anthony-Towns has the ability to be a game-changing player. As far as his skill set, he's a 7-footer. He can take you outside. He can take you off the dribble, and he can finish down in the hole. What's always been the question about Karl Anthony-Towns, and I guess apparently that was what Jimmy Butler didn't like, is about the matter of heart.
Yeah.
Is that him and Wiggins didn't have that heart. So Jimmy Butler, being someone that's kind of had to create his stardom in the NBA by pulling himself up from his bootstraps, I think that it wasn't, he wasn't understanding why they weren't working as hard as they could be, or whatever the noise was coming out of their locker room. So they couldn't make that work. So that only was a year in and couldn't make that work, which it should have been able to happen. So I think that Minnesota pulled a move. They say, hey, we got to lock him down. We got to do something. We got to hold on to some type of staple.
Yeah.
It was necessary, but it's not going to change their. They're going to be worse off. I
don't think it changes their narrative. I don't think that it changed their team status as far as the success level. I mean, they just spent a whole bunch of money on Andrew Wiggins, and Wiggins does not seem to be giving a return of that investment at all.
No.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, his game, he kind of reminds me and puts me in mind of like a Andre Iguodala. Like, when I consider Iguodala back at Arizona, Iguodala played the same way he does today.
But Iguodala's always been a really good defender.
And Andrew Wiggins has always been a really good defender.
Wiggins has potential to be a good defender, and he does it in spurts. But there's sometimes, if you look at film, where he just doesn't, it's like lackadaisical. Like, he's just out there. When really, you, with your skill set and your length, you should be a lockdown wing defender.
But he
like
actually,
Kawhi.
I think that his issue is that he's so focused on trying not to just be labeled as that defensive Bruce Bowen persona that he forces the offense. When in actuality, I think that's the growing frustration with Jimmy Butler, is that he's watching a player that, okay, you can create a lot of offensive plays from your defensive spark, but you don't want to be labeled as that defensive go-to guy. In actuality, that's your strong suit. You're good at playing defense. So I think that Timberwolves, they didn't get better by signing Karl Anthony-Towns, but they didn't get worse either, because it would be detrimental if Katt left that team.
Yeah, they wouldn't have anyone, so, that's just what it is. So.
But where does Jimmy go?
I think Jimmy will ultimately end up in New York. I don't know. I just feel like him and Kyrie being friends, they have something brewing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Celtics, if things don't start off really kind of the way they need them to, if they would be like, okay, well, Kyrie, you go. We have Scary Terry here.
Yeah.
A good backup replacement, and seeing how they played last season minus Kyrie.
But you think Kyrie is crazy enough to leave a franchise team like the Celtics? I mean, let's be honest. You're not going to find a roster like that.
You're not going to
that's
find
loaded. That's that
but I think
championship
that
ready.
it's important for Kyrie to be the reason why he left Cleveland is that he wants to be the man. He wants to be the man. And I feel like
Carmelo did too. And he went to New York.
But Carmelo did have some success in a couple years in New York. Now, they didn't go super far.
J Money.
They were terrible his first couple
J
years.
Money.
They weren't terrible.
Now, what are
They
we
got
labeling success? Because the farthest Carmelo went in the playoffs was with the Denver Nuggets with Chauncey Billups.
That's true. That's true. But Carmelo was, too, about the money. And he did want to be the man. Now, what I will say is I feel like Carmelo and Kyrie have two type of kind of games.
Yeah.
To where Kyrie being in New York, the way that he plays and everything like that, it can really work. And him being the first option on that team, and you have a Jimmy Butler who should not be a first option. Let me make that clear. Someone that loved Jimmy Butler on the Bulls, he's just not a first option player. As much as he wants to act like he is,
he's just not.
He needs some help. So I think that with him and Kyrie being the backcourt,
Yeah.
or having, I think Jimmy likes to play more than three. So maybe they can find the two in there, or maybe convince him to play the two. But that'll be the start of something interesting. And being in Madison Square Garden, I think that they would kind of hold each other accountable.
But
being in there.
Now, Kemba Walker has an expiring contract after this year.
That's true too. And he could want to go back home.
And that's who I'm thinking is actually going to end up in New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying? I think that Kemba Walker goes back home. I think that Kyrie stays in Boston if he's smart, because he's from Jersey. Boston isn't too far from Jersey. That's not too much of a significant difference.
Well, no, neither is New York. It's right there too. So,
It's right there.
So he's kind of like.
But you got Jason Tatum. You know, you got so many different key pieces that you're not going to be able to find at another team. So why not just stay put, actually win a championship within the next 5 years? Because they will win or at least get to the championship within the next 5 years if he stay put. Because that'll be the worst. That'll be like the worst breakup since the fucking Golden State Warriors with Chris Webber, Chris Mullin, and Tim Hardaway and Latrell Sprewell. Like, just fucking stay put and not trade away your acquisition pieces, because a lot of times, and I also give credit to Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens, because I think that they're actually smart enough to say, no, we need to conserve all these pieces. They were smart enough to say, let's keep Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was key for them to hold on. And then, like you said, Danny Ainge has played it cool this whole time. He's had all these draft picks and been able to make all these, these moves. So, I mean, I don't think that they're going to exhaust all options and try to figure out what's the best key for them. But I think it's going to really show itself in the first, half of the season.
Right.
As far as, what they're going to do. And it's going to be interesting. Because after All-Star break, where do some of these individuals end up?
It's going to be some trades.
Yeah, it's gonna be some unique trades. So.
And the only thing that I would hope so, and we're gonna get off this subject,
yeah.
But I hope that Knicks does not trade Kevin Knox. I feel real bright about his future. Like, he was one of those sleepers in the draft.
What is he, 3?
He's a 3.
So yeah, so if
18 years old, 6'9", 6'10".
He's
athletic, pretty decent shot. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think that the Knicks,
and they still got Porzingis.
Who's, so
injury prone though.
I'm talking about if he fall, he might be hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
you got
it's
some
the Knicks though.
Exactly.
So
but
expectations don't be too high for the Knicks.
And you know what? I had a little bit of disdain for Jimmy Butler because I'm a newfound LeBron fan.
You a fanboy now?
I'm a fanboy. Before I knew it. You know what won me over?
What?
You know what won me over? He won me over by just being who he truly is, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be honest with you. I like who he is off the court. So now, he's already been the fucking man on the court. But now, you winning me over off the court on what you do and what you stand for, and being a man that stand for something, I can run with that. So it's an honor to welcome him to Los Angeles, California, to be honest with you. So yeah. I think that LeBron is phenomenal, man. So it's nothing but love, bro. But I can't understand and get with Jimmy because Jimmy specifically said he doesn't want to play with LeBron. What fucking nerve do you got to say that you don't want to play with Mama? There goes that man.
I think for Jimmy, it's kind of a multi-layered thing. I think that on the surface, he probably feels like, hey, if I go and kind of follow after LeBron or whatever, that I'm not necessarily gonna get the shine, even though he's crazy to think like, hey, you're always gonna be second fiddle,
to anyone. That's
if you want to win,
right.
Because you're not that, right?
Right.
But I think that he has a deep loyalty to Kyrie Irving. I think that they're really that close. I think him and Kyrie are really that close.
How many fucking friends does Kyrie have? Like,
I don't think that many.
I mean, fuck it. I get on Instagram. I see him in Miami Heat's gym playing with KD. For the next 3 days, they're like him and KD in New York together, right?
Yeah.
Then I hear a week later, Kyrie and fucking Jimmy Butler in New York. Then I hear a week later, Kyrie and such and such. So my thing is, we haven't even seen Kyrie really truly play in a fucking Boston jersey yet.
Yeah, not for an extended.
We really haven't. So we keep putting him with these other players, but we say that he doesn't have allies. Come on.
I feel like he's not really he likes to hoop. I think Kyrie just likes to ball.
And people like playing with him.
And I think that now we can't really judge him because a lot of these cats now they film like where they're working out and when they have these open runs or whatever. So it's a different type of it's a different time.
And who do you want Lakers to pick up during free agency next year?
They better make a move for someone like Clay. That's what I feel like they would.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I think that Clay Thompson would.
We need Clay.
Yeah.
We need a shooter. We need Clay or we need Devin Booker.
Yeah, like someone like Phoenix ain't gonna give up Devin Booker.
You don't think so?
No, hell no.
Well, shit. Devin Booker said we don't get to the playoffs next year. I'm gone.
Well, they
And he's been spotted in UCLA gym.
Oh, they all work out
Crazy.
out here. They all work out here. Like that's why LA is the place to kind of go. Like,
why wouldn't you want to come here, D Book?
Yeah, like I mean, he would. Not everyone wants to play in the big markets though.
I was for to sell you. I was for to sell you, D Book. I wanted you here.
Some people want to be low key. Some people want to be kind of like the man in their town. And if you come here, you're gonna be amongst others who are also that. So
that's true.
All those situations are not alike, but but we'll cover on those. Like, of course, as the NBA season goes on, we're gonna be touching on all those deadlines and trades and all that good stuff. So
okay, because it's Sunday, we do got to touch on this real quick. Okay, it is Sunday football day, right? Mm-hmm. Has Baker Mayfield took Tyrod Taylor's spot?
I don't know. I'm not a Cleveland Browns, so I'm only gonna touch on that a little bit. I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan like that.
I'm not either.
So,
but I do like Baker Mayfield.
I did watch the Hard Knocks, and I liked how Baker came in with his work pail.
He came in with swagger.
Yeah, he came in, but he was working hard. He followed the scene from what the cameras were showing. He was following protocol. He did show up late one time. Yeah. But he made up for it. And the coach told him, he was like, hey, Tyrod is here. He has a regiment.
I like how you say you're not a Browns fan, but you're familiar with the Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
So you've been watching the progression.
I watched the progression of it because I like the show Hard Knocks.
And, well, of course. Hard Knocks been on for forever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But what do you think about them losing Josh Gordon, not picking up Dez Bryant? Is that going to bite them in the ass, even with Tyrod being out and Baker taking
I think it's typical Browns behavior.
Just emotional, just random fucking
shit.
shit.
It's just the Browns.
Because
I can't really say that the Browns are such fuck ups because I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah.
So we've definitely done our part in screwing some stuff up.
Yeah, y'all let Jeffries go.
Yeah. So and it's been more than that over the years. But it's
y'all did bring in Khalil Mack.
We took in Khalil Mack.
He's a bully,
which we needed to do. But I think the Browns they always kind of make decisions like that. I think that maybe the decision to let go of Josh Gordon, whatever we don't see, it was consistent stuff going on. And they tried to ride that train out for a long time. And at this point, it just was not working. So they do have Landry already there, which makes me think, though, like you said, they probably should have picked up Dez. And maybe Dez is not out of the fold at this point.
That's true.
Maybe they can, because he still hasn't been claimed by anyone.
But Dez is looking for too much money. No one wants to spend that much money on a wide receiver that can't create that much separation anymore.
Yeah.
Like Dez has never been a speedy receiver, but Dez had hands, and Dez could out jump you when that ball is in the air.
Yeah.
Dez hasn't been able to out jump anybody.
And I think that he's been dropping some balls the last few seasons too.
And his hands has depreciated.
Now he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't have the separation. He doesn't have the jumping ability that he once had. So then you take those attributes away. And then it's one of those situations. So
and he's never he's never been quite the best route runner. Playing for Tony Romo, he was a gunslinger. Like, we talked so much shit about Tony Romo, but really and truly, when Tony stepped out, it kind of exposed a lot of bullshit with Dez. Because he placed a lot of blame on
Dallas.
Tony.
With Dallas, period, though.
Correct.
Tony Romo was a big part of their
success,
their offense. And now, I think Dallas is seeing, with the exception of last week, I believe they won, they're going to have to rely on some other things. So...
Yeah.
They always had the good offensive line, but even they're starting to get a little shakier. And now everything can't be on Zeke, so it has to be on Dak to be able to make some of these plays downfield or doing plays with his legs or whatever it is. He's going to have to play that way for them to be successful. And the whole just being super safe, just to do the check down, that ain't gonna translate. You're gonna have to actually take some risks. So we'll see. I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan either, but
I'm not a Cowboys fan. But my whole entire family is, besides my dad. My dad's a Saints fan.
Yeah,
hard-nosed Saints fan. I don't buy into a team because in the NFL teams change so fucking quickly. You might like a player and then find out that Earl Thomas is going to the Cowboys next week and you hate the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So, but in my opinion, I think that Baker Mayfield definitely is going to win that starting spot. He takes the starting spot. My only concern about that is that if he gets it too fast, does he become an RG3 situation? That's the only thing that I say. Are you putting him out there too fast? Yeah, I know that he's talented as fuck. He's skilled as fuck. He's playing out there on the field. Last week, he looked like he was still at Oklahoma, But I don't know how much crucial punishment with him being a hybrid quarterback and being not like
he's not big.
He's not big. So him taking so many hits, that shit's going to take a toll on him until his body adjusts to it. So we don't want to throw him out there too fast, though, do we? To start?
I don't necessarily think that you do, but I feel like the fans are kind of behind them,
Yeah.
And it's gonna be that constant, and which we've seen that happen in history before. The fans get behind one particular backup or a quarterback, then they're kind of forced to kind of push them out there. So I hope that Cleveland doesn't feel rushed to do that, because it could be, like you said, setting them up for disaster. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out.
Random thought, though. What happened to that guy, Michael, that worked with Jamel Hill?
I have no idea.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Michael Smith?
Michael Smith. Where has he disappeared to? Have they locked him in a closet or some shit at ESPN Studios?
I think that he's
They locked him in the closet.
They put him on ice.
Wow.
I think because I haven't seen him on any of the shows. I'm sure he might still write for whatever. I mean, he's a journalist, so I hope he does. But I really don't. Show got pulled. Then they were
And he took the no hand. He took the hands up approach. Like when Jamel was actually going through her episode, he put his hands up.
But that's why I think that's the fear, or that's the kind of the danger of riding the fence.
Yeah.
Is this, you can't ride the fence. Either you on this side or you on this side.
Yeah, I agree.
And he was riding the fence, and basically didn't receive. So Jamel, she left ESPN, but they had to pay her $6 million.
Yeah,
they paid her out.
They
$6
had
million. So she could take her $6 million, and I'm gonna go over here and build with LeBron and really have a platform where I can speak my piece. I think that's what kind of got him where he.
So he took the high road, and the high road is sometimes the long road.
Yep, sometimes. But we'll some interesting things to touch on too for the remainder of the as the podcast progresses. But It's been great having the conversation, brother.
Absolutely,
always
bro.
good.
Absolutely, you already know, man.
Build our following and things that we always got some fresh stuff to say. So hey, at the end of the day, we just two guys talking our shit. What do we know? What do we know?
For sure. And you know what? I appreciate you guys tuning in to us too. This is our first episode, Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac. You can actually tune in to us every Tuesday. We'll be on multiple different platforms. YouTube. You can listen to our SoundCloud and also tune in to our iTunes podcast as well. Just come out, support, type in Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac, or choose to follow us. You can follow Jay. Jay, let them know where to follow you.
Yeah, you can follow me on IG at _enlighten1. That's _enlighten1. I'm on IG from time to time. But yeah, we'll be here consistently and hopefully bringing you all great and amazing content from our perspective. Right?
Absolutely. And it's your boy B.O.B. You can follow me at IG at Bobby World Major. You can also at me. Hit me up on some comments and stuff. I want to hear y'all opinions on a lot of the topics that we discussed. You can find me on Twitter at Bobby World Major, and it's just as it sounds, and it's spelled just as it sounds, Bobby World Major. We will actually be setting up a Facebook and IG page for Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac as well, so we can actually draw in, and we want to actually have y'all come in and give us some feedbacks as well, and you'll be able to actually watch a lot of snippets of the show as well, leading up to the Tuesday show where it's posted in full on YouTube. All right. Sure. So any kind of topics y'all want us to discuss next Sunday, please email us, let us know, add us, DM us, or whatever. And I want to thank my boy Kenny J on the camera.
Behind the cameras.
We got Kenny J behind the camera. Sorry, you want Kenny J on top of it right now. He's like, look, you all in my ear right now. But I'm trying to plug my boy business. It's called Washos.
So basically, we're a mobile car detail company. We're an app-based company. So I know a lot of people see like the mobile wash signs, or they might see some other ones, but we're called Washos. That's WASHOS. And basically, you can book from the app, and we'll send a detail professional to your house, to your job, get your cars clean. We know how important that is in LA to look fresh, be fly. For the weekend. So definitely at Washos if you would like to check us out. All right.
Yeah, I'm about to get my shit clean in 2 minutes because my shit look dirty as a motherfucker. I went on a date yesterday and she was like, "You couldn't have been prepared for this." You know what I'm saying? I had blood rollings and all types of shit up in there. But we thank y'all for actually tuning in to do Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac. Like I said, we're gonna keep feeding y'all with this organic shit. And we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.